Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Rolex Datejust 31 in stainless steel on a pink Roman dial with a Jubilee bracelet reference 278240. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history and where it stands with the rest of the watches in the same category. Then the case, bezel dial bracelet, movement, try it on, and give you my final thoughts. So let's start. The Datejust has a very long history. It's the most iconic watch that Rolex makes, and it's been out for a very long time. I want to say like 70 or 80 years or something like that. And Rolex makes the most Datejust of any watch. So, that includes all their other watches, but the Datejust is the most common or most I don't want to say desirable, but it is the most made of any Rolex watch. Now, Rolex makes the Datejust in many different sizes. For women, which this watch is, they make size 28 and 31, small and medium. And they also actually make a 36, which is unisex, could be also be worn by a woman, or a woman who either has a larger wrist or likes to wear larger watches, which many women like to do. Now, so this the Datejust also is made in many different materials. They make it in steel, steel and gold, steel, or let's say steel and yellow gold, steel and rose gold. They used to also make it in precious metals, and actually they do still make it in precious metal. They make it in precious metal for 28 and 31, not for 36. If it's 36, they call it a day date. Okay, now. And this watch is what you see here is stainless steel. So that's the base model. Okay. Now let's talk about the base model in stainless steel. The only option you can have for the bezel is the domed bezel that you see here. And only option you can have for the dial are non-diamond dials. So their base watch is a watch exactly that, with no fluff, no fluted, no gold, just a pure stainless steel watch with no diamonds in the dial. You can either have index or Roman, nothing else, which makes sense because it's the base model. You don't, once you start to get past the base model, you can do many things like add diamonds and gold and whatever else, and different bezel combination. But at the base starting, it's just a steel watch. Then that's what you get. Okay, now now that we talk about where it stands in the lineup and a little of the history, let's talk about the case. The case is stainless steel. It's 31 millimeters from my thumb to my index finger. That's the longest distance across the bezel. And as I told you earlier, 31 is a medium size for women. I believe that women who are approximately 105 pounds to 130 pounds can benefit from a size 31, and those who are above that should go with a 36, and those who are below it probably should go with a 28. That's just my personal opinion, having sold like thousands of watches. That's what I've experienced. I'm obviously not a woman, but we've sold many watches to many women, and that's the feedback I've gotten. So I think, of course, you're watching this video because you want to learn about this watch, so that's why I'm telling you to. Okay, now that's the size of the watch, 31, and if you turn it on its side and see the profile, it's approximately 11 millimeters. Now, you might not know how much that is in reference to other watches. I can just tell you that's a very comfortable size. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, and it's actually a perfect size. Okay, now that is the case. It's made of stainless steel, as is the rest of the watch. Okay, and let's talk about the bezel here. Now, the bezel, you might just look at it and say, well, it's just a dome bezel. Yes, it is just a dome bezel. But why would you want to have a dome bezel versus the iconic fluted? Well, one, it's cheaper. And two, it's actually more durable because the domed bezel does not have any gold in it. It's stainless steel. So if you were to scratch it, which is the most common thing that happens to a bezel, it's not going to get totally messed up, and it's very easy to polish. On a fluted bezel, over time, I've actually seen the white gold lose its rhodium plating and it turned yellowish. And so the watch ends up looking kind of old. And that takes some time, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I have seen that happen. Of course, you can put that rhodium plating back on, have that brilliant white color again. But I have seen that. So it could be a consideration. And I've seen many fluted bezels get dinged, scratched, dented, whatever, and they end up looking not very nice afterward. But this dome bezel will pretty much be like this all the time. It's very, very durable. So this is a watch that you could wear much more and in many different situations, like running, going to yoga, washing dishes, taking the dog out, whatever. But at the same time, it's still a Rolex, and so it still can be worn in a very elegant situation as well. So that's the benefit of the dome bezel. Okay, now let's talk about the dial here. Now the dial is pink, as you can see. Now Rolex makes their pink in two different variations. One is what you see here, which is Roman dial. These numerals are Roman, like what the Romans would write the numbers in. The other option is index. Why would you go with one versus the other? Well, I'll tell you. When you have Roman dial, it looks much more busy. And you cannot see it at nighttime. But, because the hands are white gold. But the watch looks, in my opinion, a little bit more elegant with all this stuff that's going on. It's just looks busier. Busy is not a bad thing. And complicated. And elegant when you have Roman numerals. That's just my opinion. You have your own, of course. But you're watching this from my opinion. So, and my review. So let's look at the index. The index dial, I believe, is a much simpler dial. It's very plain. It doesn't have a lot of fluff to it. And it also is straight to the point. And it's easier to tell time, in my opinion, because there's less going on. Also, it's practically speaking, you can see it better at night, which also is something I like because the index one has luminescent on the hands. They both have this sunray finish, which allows the watch to have a different look in different light. Okay. But yeah, this one's pink. I think pink for a woman is fantastic. I really like it. I think it looks very feminine, looks classy. A lot of good things to say. Okay, now let's talk about the bracelet. The bracelet is your Jubilee bracelet. Rolex makes it in either the Jubilee or the Oyster. And as you can see, it has a concealed folding crown clasp in that you cannot actually see the buckle. You can close it and then it looks like a bracelet. Now, the good thing about that, I will tell you, is that the bracelet, it looks continuous. It's very seamless. It's all looks like one piece. I really like concealed folding crown clasp. What I don't like about it is that there is no 5mm comfort extension. Now they might figure that out in the next generation, but in this generation they don't have that. And what that means is that you cannot change the length of the bracelet without a tool. You have to add or subtract a link. You cannot simply adjust it by hand without the use of a tool, which you can in the size 36 and greater. So that is a small thing to think about. Not a big thing, but it is something. Okay, now let's try the movement. The movement is a 2236 movement. It's precise to plus minus 2 seconds a day. It has a power reserve of 55 hours. Not a whole lot to say. It's a nice movement and you can't see it. Okay, let's try this watch on. I'm obviously a man and this is a woman's watch, but at least you can see what it's going to look like on a wrist. Now, I have a 7.5-inch wrist. As I said before, I recommend it for those who have, for women who are medium size, and that probably means a wrist size of approximately 6 inches to 6.5, maybe 5.75 to 6.5, something like that. If you have a wrist size smaller than that, I really think that you should go with the Datejust 28 because there's a lot of beautiful variations there and it would fit you better. Or if you have a wrist size larger than that, I suggest that you go with the Datejust 36 because it would just fit you better. It won't look too small on you. And also, don't forget, the bigger the watch is, the easier it is to read the time. So my thoughts on this watch is that for the price point, under $10,000, you get a full Rolex with that is has date. It has all the things that you would expect from a beautiful Rolex, but it doesn't have a massive price tag. It's still reasonably priced, and I really like pink for women. I think it's a watch that you could daily wear. A lot of watches are beautiful, but you can't daily wear them. This one, I definitely would consider this a daily wear watch. You don't have to be like super careful. You can just wear it however you want to wear it, and you don't have to worry about it getting beat up. So for those reasons, I'm going to give this watch a 2 thumbs up. And if you'd like to buy it, go to jazztime.com or click on the link in the description below.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on show more to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.